How does a man who conquered bodybuilding, dominated Hollywood, and governed California still end up facing legal scrutiny decades later? It feels almost contradictory. A life built on discipline and control, yet even the strongest image can crack in unexpected moments. Because in the end, it's not always about crime. It's about small moments that grow under the weight of fame. No matter how powerful you become, you're never beyond consequences. A life built on discipline, ambition, and global fame. To understand the legal issues, you first have to understand the scale of Schwarzenegger's life. He didn't just succeed in one field, he dominated three completely different worlds: bodybuilding, Hollywood, and politics. He arrived in the United States as an immigrant with almost nothing, and through sheer determination, he turned himself into a global icon. Mr. Olympia titles made him a legend in fitness. Hollywood transformed him into one of the most recognizable faces in the world. And then, in a move few expected, he stepped into politics and became the governor of California. That kind of trajectory creates pressure most people will never experience. Every decision matters more, every mistake carries more weight, and every action is seen through a magnified lens. It's not that legal trouble follows success. It's that success exposes every detail of your life in a way that makes even minor issues feel significant. The 2024 airport incident. In January 2024, Schwarzenegger found himself in an unexpected situation at Munich Airport in Germany. Authorities detained him over a luxury watch that he allegedly failed to declare when entering the country. On paper, it seems like a small oversight. But under European customs law, failing to declare high-value goods can trigger serious consequences, including potential tax violations. That's where the situation becomes more complicated. In legal systems like this, intent doesn't always protect you. Whether something is done deliberately or by mistake, the law still applies. Schwarzenegger later stated that he cooperated fully and suggested there had been confusion during the declaration process. But by that point, the story had already spread across global media. And that's the reality of being someone like him. A situation that might go unnoticed for an ordinary traveler becomes international news within hours. The 2022 car crash lawsuit. Another significant legal situation emerged from a car accident in Los Angeles in 2022. Schwarzenegger was involved in a multi-vehicle collision that initially appeared to be a routine incident. But accidents rarely stay simple when injuries are involved. A woman later filed a lawsuit claiming that she suffered permanent damage as a result of the crash, and in legal terms, that transforms the situation entirely. It's no longer just about what happened in the moment. It becomes about long-term consequences, medical costs, and responsibility. Cases like this often take time to unfold. They involve investigations, legal arguments, and detailed analysis of who was at fault and to what extent. For someone like Schwarzenegger, the situation becomes even more complex. Public attention adds another layer of pressure, turning a private legal matter into a widely discussed issue. The 2003 allegations. One of the most defining controversies in Schwarzenegger's life came during his 2003 campaign for governor of California. Just days before the election, multiple women came forward with allegations of sexual misconduct. The timing was critical, and the impact was immediate. The allegations dominated headlines and forced Schwarzenegger to respond publicly. He admitted that he had behaved inappropriately at times and issued an apology, while also disputing aspects of the claims. It was a complex response that reflected both acknowledgement and defense. Although these allegations did not result in criminal convictions, they had lasting consequences. Public perception shifted, his image became more complicated, and legally, the situation extended into a libel case that was eventually settled. This moment showed how the past can resurface at the most critical points in a person's life, especially when they are stepping into positions of power. The 2011 clemency decision. As governor of California, Schwarzenegger held the power to grant clemency. In 2011, during his final hours in office, he made a decision that would spark significant backlash. He reduced the prison sentence of Esteban Nez, the son of a political ally who had been convicted in a fatal stabbing case. Legally, he had the authority to do this. But that didn't stop the reaction. The victim's family and prosecutors challenged the decision in court, arguing that it violated victims' rights. The case drew intense criticism, with a judge later describing the decision in harsh terms, even while acknowledging that it was legally permissible. This situation highlights a critical distinction. Something can be within the law and still raise serious ethical concerns, and for public figures, that line is often where the biggest controversies begin. The role of fame in legal scrutiny. One of the most important things to understand about Schwarzenegger's legal troubles is that they are amplified by his fame. He is not someone constantly facing criminal charges or ongoing legal battles, but every issue, no matter how small, becomes a major story. That's because fame changes the way events are perceived. For an average person, a customs misunderstanding or a traffic accident might remain relatively private. For Schwarzenegger, these moments become headlines seen around the world. This creates a kind of feedback loop. The more visible you are, the more attention your actions receive. And the more attention you receive, the more pressure there is on every decision you make. A pattern of moments, not crimes. When you look at all these situations together, a pattern begins to emerge. They are not part of a continuous chain of wrongdoing. Instead, they are isolated moments that become significant because of the context surrounding them. A watch at an airport, a car accident, a political decision, allegations from the past. Each situation is different. Each has its own circumstances. But they all share one thing in common: they are moments that grew larger than expected. And that's often how legal trouble works for high-profile individuals. It doesn't always come from major actions. Sometimes, it comes from small details that escalate over time. Where things stand today, as of 2026, Schwarzenegger continues to remain active and influential. He appears in films, speaks on global issues, and maintains a strong presence in both entertainment and public discourse. None of these legal issues have ended his career. They haven't erased his legacy, but they have added complexity to his story. He is no longer seen as just the unstoppable force he once represented. Instead, he represents something more human, a reminder that even the most successful individuals face challenges, criticism, and consequences. The reality behind power and accountability. Arnold Schwarzenegger's life is often described as extraordinary, and it truly is. Few people have achieved success across so many different fields. But his legal troubles reveal something deeper. Power does not eliminate accountability. Fame does not prevent scrutiny. And success does not protect you from the consequences of your actions. If anything, those things make the consequences more visible. Because at the end of the day, the law doesn't care about titles, achievements, or reputation. It looks at actions, decisions, and responsibility. And that's what makes this story so compelling. Not because it's about a celebrity facing legal issues, but because it reflects a universal truth. No matter who you are never beyond the reach of reality. At the end of the day, no matter how powerful someone becomes, they are still accountable. If you found this interesting, make sure you like and subscribe.